Well, I did something I never thought I'd do again. I put the factory bars back on my 2008 Honda Shadow Aero 750 chopper bobber bike. And the last time these beach bars were on here was May of 2022, and it's current year. So it's been, what, 3? A little over 3? Because I swapped these out because I went with a set of 12-inch apes that put me sitting right here. And then I was going to black most of the bike out, and I didn't, obviously. So I went with a set of black apes. And then recently, because I've been looking at this bike, especially the raked out front end, honestly, I thought the apes looked a little funny, you know? Like they sat a little too high and there was too much going on up here. And there was not as much happening kind of back in this area. So I swapped the apes out for a set of drag bars, but from like a comfort standpoint, they weren't quite there. And that mostly just kind of had to do with my wrist. Like I took that bike out with those drag bars out for about 2 hours, and just from hitting, because if you guys notice, I got a little bit of a nervous tick. You know, I usually, if you notice in the videos, I usually hit this right here, this little button right here to cancel my turn signals quite a bit. Mainly because the little blinky light down there indicating that an indicator is on, indicating the indicator. That light has never worked, and actually when I put these custom triples on, I found out there's actually no bulb in there, and I probably could have put one in there. And some of you folks that are attention to detail, you notice that, yeah, I got to go back and clean all this up. I didn't want to wrap them in rubber and tie them up all nice and neat until I was 100% sure what I wanted to do with bars, because I might put the apes back on here. I might not. If I do, it's going to be the chrome ones, not the black ones, because I think, just kind of looking at the bike, I don't hate these factory chrome bars on here. I actually think it looks pretty sweet. They're a little higher, they're a little more comfortable. They do feel a little awkward only because I think it's been 3 years. But I don't know. Let's hit the road and see how they do. Now the first thing I noticed is I'm not used to having my hands this close to me. Like my elbows are like really, really bent. I'm used to kind of being like stretched out up here, you know? It's a whole different feeling. See, I'm already hitting that turn signal button. I'm trying to get these bars back to the factory position as best I can. The thing is, though, the aftermarket triples are kind of like canted slightly, obviously, because there's that little bit of extra rake. So I think I got them dialed in just based on my hand position. I was kind of looking back at older pictures, and the bend in the bar kind of seemed to go in line with the forks. Well, the forks aren't in line with the fork tube anymore. This is probably why, like, my rake and trail and whatever and all that good stuff is a little messed up. Definitely different than stock, but you get used to it fairly quickly. Now, these little mirrors, which of course I'll link in the description below, I'm not saying they're bad mirrors. I actually really like them. I love the look. They're actually really well built. I don't know if it's aluminum or some kind of other, like, Chinese pot metal, but I don't really get any vibrations from them. And once you get them pointed where you want them, they're pretty sturdy. I've never had them move on me. It's just these specific angles, they just ain't working with this setup. And if I stick with these bars for a while, which I don't know, I might, we're definitely gonna have to do something different. I don't really want to put the stock Mickey Mouse mirrors back on there, you know, the big old round oval guys. But for the time being, so I can at least ride this thing, I might have to, until I find something that works. In situations like this, where I'm coming up to this stop, I would love to be able to see behind me. We're just hoping. Crossing our fingers. It is a lot easier to take turns, though, than it is with the drag bars. The drag bars, I didn't have the leverage to actually move this front end. With the longer forks, everything just feels heavier. It honestly felt like I was going to drop this thing quite a bit. I don't want to look goofy, all right? I'm already, like, goofy looking. I don't want to be, like, too goofy out here, you know what I mean? And also, like the drag bars, if I turn my head, you guys can see things, like that street, I guess, and I don't know, I wish there was something interesting to look at. This is also the first time this bike has had both the stock handlebars and the bobber seat on it, because, I mean, heck, we didn't bob this thing out until, gosh, about 4 or 5 months after the apehangers got put on. I could just barely see the bumper of the car behind me, like just the corner of it, like it's creeping up. Yeah, don't do what I'm doing. This is a little dangerous. And compared to the stock seat with the stock bars, it feels like I'm kind of sitting on the back of the bobber seat a little bit, like the little curvature part right there, the tail of it. It does seem like I'm a little farther back than I would be with the stock seat, but again, I don't really have anything to compare it to. It's been so long, honestly, I don't even remember. But it does feel like I have a little bit more control than I used to. Like, you know, with the apes, like being up high, I'd have a little more leverage and was always kind of stretched out. This, my back's a little straighter. It's more like I'm sitting in a chair. Elbows are bent. Feet are still kicked out a couple inches with a 4-inch fork, not fork extensions, freaking forward controls. But yeah, I'm not hating this setup. This is a decent little thing going on here. Pretty comfortable. Time will tell. I think I'll rock this for a little bit. See how I like it. See how I feel. Because honestly, I'm kind of running out of things to do on this bike, you know. Because if I kept the drag bars, I was going to do bar end mirrors, which I kind of already bought. So those got to get returned because they're not going to work with these beach bars, because the mirror will be like way too far out there and I wouldn't even be able to see them anyway. And then kind of like I said, the ape's kind of distracted from the long front forks, and just kind of want to mix it up a little bit. And actually, honestly, if I did want to go back, I'm going to keep the apes and all that good stuff because it's not that hard to swap bars out. Like, if you want to know how to do that, you can check this video out right here. And as always, y'all be good. See ya.